Hey, this is Steve. I want to talk about making videos, and I'll tell a quick story. When I first started making videos a few years ago, I became really frustrated because I found that it took me forever to do the editing. And I got frustrated and overwhelmed by all the different options and features in the video editing software programs that I was using. And I tried a lot of them. And what I learned throughout that time is that I could simplify my video editing process by just focusing on a few key types of editing skills. And that simplified everything for me. So now when I make videos like this one, I spend very little time on the editing, and I really am able to focus on the message that I want to convey. And this allows me to do presentations on all types of topics without getting overwhelmed by how long it's going to take to edit. So I'm going to show you a few things today about what I do for my editing process and the 3 skills that I started using to do 90% of my edits. So here we go. This is all about 3 simple video editing skills that anybody can pick up, whether you're a beginner or you just are getting started and don't know where to begin. This will help you. Why is this so important? And what I believe is that video is now, in this current day and age, video is one of the most important forms of communication. When I worked in corporate America, we presented information over PowerPoint slides. And that was one of the things that we were trained and we learned how to do, and we learned how to do it effectively. Nowadays, with everybody working remotely and all the different forms of video distribution, video content is one of the primary ways that we communicate with each other. And I feel that it's really powerful and very important for all of us to become proficient in communicating over video. And for me, that means informational videos like this, where I show people how to do things, but it's also a lot of other uses where I may ask somebody for help and I'll give them an example showing something on my screen. When you create videos, it puts you in a position where you establish credibility with your audience. You are an expert. You create authority with that audience. So it's very powerful and a very easy way to do that over remote distances. When people watch your video, they associate your content with a lot of value. It's just one of the examples of having visual content over, let's say, a book or an article where they're just reading words. When they see a video, they get to see you, they see examples, and the perceived value of that content is just higher. The other thing I love about video is it's easy to distribute. There's so many options right now. We all know about YouTube, there's social media, but there are dozens of other ways that don't require your video to be on public channels, but they can still be very powerful for your audience. And lastly, people are ready to consume video. Most people are very comfortable watching video. They can watch video anywhere and everywhere. So they are ready to consume your video. They're ready to hear your message. And that brings me to my final point. You have a message, and your message is important. Somebody out there needs to hear it. When you encase your message in video, it becomes so much more powerful and you can reach so many more people. So that is the real important piece of why I invite you to start thinking about making videos. So let's get into the 3 skills that I think are really important. And so many people don't want to get into this because they think video takes too much time. Editing takes too long. That was my situation a few years ago. It took me forever to edit a simple video. And people get frustrated with video software. There are so many out there and it gets complicated. So I want to remove that complexity and just talk about some simple editing skills that's going to help you. So here they are. The first one that I focus on is cuts. And most software calls it cutting, but really it's just cutting out sections of your video that you don't want to be there. You can cut content out. Often this is going to be filler words, beginning and endings, and things like that. So number 2 skill is learning how to fade in and fade out. This is a very simple type of transition, and it can work for about 90% of your transition needs. And last in this exercise is learning how to overlay a video or an image on top of your video. So let's go into some more detail on these. Cuts, as I talked about before, is an easy way to remove a section. A common example is when you start out a video, you may have some dead time, or if you're doing an interview with somebody on Zoom, there's that bit of time when you're talking, but the interview hasn't started yet. You can remove all of that content with a simple cut. and it's gone and you can get rid of it. So it makes your video really clean to start. Same thing with the ending. There's usually a goodbye sequence or a call to action, some type of finishing message, and then there's dead time after that. So it's another opportunity to cut those parts out. And clearly we all make mistakes. It happens all the time, and we rely on filler words, ahs and ums, and everybody's got some tick that they put into their videos, and you'll hear yourself using the same phrase over and over and over again. So getting good at removing those bits and pieces is going to be really helpful for you. Most importantly, though, I focus on where you make a clear mistake and you say, you know what, I just need to remove that part. It might be somebody coming into the room, or maybe you have to sneeze, or there's an interruption. Becoming comfortable with the cuts, knowing you can remove it later, it gives you a lot more confidence when you're delivering the message. So the next skill I want to talk about is fading in or fading out. Fades are really just a simple form of a transition. A fade is when the screen starts either in all black or maybe it's all white. You can typically choose the color, but it goes from all black and fades into the image of you or the image of your presentation or your content. That conveys to the recipient that something is beginning. It's a really clean way to begin a presentation because it alerts the viewer in a visual way that you're about to begin and their attention gets focused. And it just looks nice, it feels nice. The same thing with an ending to your video. At the very end, if you transition out, you go from what they see in the screen and it fades out to black. That indicates to them the same thing, that it's now over, and it just looks clean. You can also use transitions when you have major jumps or major breaks in your content. But I have found that just focusing on the beginning and the ending satisfies 99% of the areas where I need to do a transition. All right, so the last one is doing overlays. And this is really where you place an image or a video on top of what's showing on the screen. This is really powerful because if I'm doing a presentation like this and I use an overlay to put another image on top of this showing an example, now you've got a real live reference to look at for that example. And there's so many ways that you can use overlays. So you can use stock media. Most video editing platforms nowadays come with a library of stock media that you can use. And there are thousands and thousands of images or short video clips that you can build into your presentation. You can also take some of your other videos and use a section or a snippet of another video and just put that over on your screen. So like I said, there are countless ways to use this feature, and getting comfortable with how to do this is one of the key things that's going to help you become an effective communicator over video. And lastly, shapes. You can use text, arrows, shapes of all types. These are effective ways to draw attention to your screen, especially if you've got a lot of text. You can put a box around it or a rectangle around it, and somebody's eyes will go right to that bit of content. So it's a good way to accentuate your message on that screen. Now, the main thing I really want to get across and why I distilled this down to 3 skills is it's more important to just stay focused on your message, because people are going to consume your video because they want to hear from you, and only you can be you. There are thousands of other creators out there who are making similar content to yours, but only you have your unique message and your voice. And I firmly believe that somebody out there in the world needs to hear your message. And it's really easy to get distracted by all the features and all the new tech that's out there with video editing. And if you just stay focused on these 3 skills, you'll find that your whole process gets really simple. And there's something powerful that's going to happen. You can add complexity later. So just start simple. And then what really tips the scales is you learn the process of making videos, and then you can delegate that to somebody else. And this is the real trick to scaling. You don't need to become the only editor. You just need to know enough about the process so you can ask for help from other people, and other people who are really good at making videos and editing videos. So when you get to that point where you're able to do some basic editing skills, you're able to ask somebody else for help, and you can be in charge of determining how much do I need to pay for this service? What's the size and scope of what I'm asking somebody to do? You have a good sense of what it takes to do a basic video So this is really powerful because it allows you to focus on the number one thing, which is your message, and bringing your message to as many people out there who need to hear it and doing it at scale. So if you can focus on that, you'll be able to make a video each day if you're really ambitious. If you just want to make one a week, that's an easy thing to accomplish with just these 3 skills. Here's my closing message. If you're struggling with video and you want to make videos, and most of you do, most of you who are talking to me on this topic right now, I know that you want to make videos, and typically there's something else holding you back. I want to hear from you to learn what is that one thing that's holding you back. For a lot of people, it's just getting started, but so many other people don't want to deal with the tech. And for all of us, we're limited by time. So let me know. I would love to hear what your challenge is, and I would love to find a way how I can help you do that. All right, that's it for now. I hope this is really helpful. Go right now, start making your videos and start doing these basic edits. You'll be surprised and amazed at how quickly you can accomplish this. All right, take care. Talk soon.